Greetings and God's peace be with you. My name is Kristofer, and I'm one of the priests at St. Francis Episcopal Parish. Glad to have this time with you for another edition of Ask a Friar. As many of you know, this Sunday is the feast day of St. Francis of Assisi. It is our name day, our first name day together as a new parish in the Diocese of Maryland. That's so exciting. And I'm glad that we're going to be able to be a part of that in all sorts of ways through our virtual offerings as well as our in-person outdoor service. So I look forward to seeing you engage and getting to be a part of community in that way. I love a good pet blessing. Some of you know I've got a dog and 2 cats, and they are an important part of our family and our daily lives. I know many of you have pets and love them, love them, love them. So we're going to do some really exciting and fun things over the next week as we do virtual pet blessings, so you can send in your pictures. I know many of you already have. We are also going to have an in-person blessing, a drive-through blessing on Tuesday of this coming week. And that is also going to be a part of our Pantry on the Go event. So you can come get a box of food or just come for a pet blessing. You can come and volunteer your time. But it's just another way of connecting. And for those of you that aren't able to come out, might be feeling, with good reason, concerned about the pandemic and feeling like just now is not a good time to come out, we're willing to come to you and do a blessing masked and physically distant outside of your home and bless those pets of yours. So as God continues to bless each of us and we figure out the large and small things that we are being called to do together as a new parish, this pet blessing thing is a fun next step. But we can't stop there. You know, it would be easy to relegate Francis to our backyard gardens. I've got a statue of Francis, and it could just that image could just remain in the garden and be something that is that's domesticated, that doesn't really connect deeply with our lives. But Francis is so much more than that. And the way that he chose to live his life and the transformation that occurred because of the choices that he made were pretty powerful. As he pondered his purpose, as he sought clarity about what God was calling him to, and he sought to reprioritize his life, to allow God to reorder his life so that the peace of Christ could flow through him, so that he could be an instrument of peace and blessing to the world. If he hadn't made the choices that he had, I can't imagine what the church would be like today, but he did. And so how exciting that we get to learn more about that and figure out how we can make some different choices in our lives. So pets are good, they're wonderful, but Francis is so much more than pet blessings. And so as we ponder the deeper purposes of God in the world, and we seek to reprioritize our own lives and ministries in accordance with that, there are a couple things that I want you to think about in good alliteration form. They all start with the letter P as well. I mentioned peace, and the prayer attributed to Francis, let us, Lord, make us instruments of your peace, is a powerful one. But what does that look like in your life? What does it mean to choose peace when you really don't want to? What does it mean to choose peace when you really don't feel that internally? How do you allow God to come into you and restore your heart and mind, bring you peace, but to have that peace actually flow out from you as well, to impact the people that you are in connection with? Peace, it's an important thing to focus on. Beyond that, what about poverty? Francis chose to live in solidarity with those that were poor. He gave away everything he had, and he asked his brothers and sisters to do the same. Jesus said to the rich young ruler, when the rich young ruler asked, what does he need to do to experience salvation? He said to go sell everything you have and give it to the poor. Most of us can't imagine making such an incredible sacrifice in our life, but yet there are things that we can do to help those that are most in need, that move us beyond charity to something more, that invite us to examine the structures of the world that we live in and the injustices and oppression that exists. Which brings us to our next series of P's: power and privilege. Power and privilege. Racism and classism are destructive forces in the world that we live in. They're destructive forces within us, within the systems that we're a part of, the congregations and communities. What does it mean to turn your attention and to allow God to shine a light on those places where privilege and power prevent you from being deeply connected to your siblings in Christ, that prevent you from being able to see them, to see that they are made in the image and likeness of God, and that they are no more or less than you, just based on the color of your skin or the family structure that you were born into in terms of socioeconomics. These might be simple things to think about, but they are difficult things to put into to practice as we try to relinquish the power and privilege in our lives and share that in ways that can be transformative as we confront racism and classism. The last thing that I want to mention, another P, the last bit of the alliteration is planet. Francis was known to be the patron saint of ecology and the environment. And my God, this world that we live in is a mess, isn't it? What are the large and small things that you can do on a daily basis to make different choices to be the best steward of this fragile earth, our island home that God has given us to live on and to be a blessing upon, to be able to share the abundant gifts of creation with all those who have need, and to understand that needs to occur for generations to come. And so we have choices today that really need to reflect that value of creation, that value of the planet. So I don't know, as you think about the purpose of God in your life and how God is working through you, as we think about the purpose of our new parish community, as we think about our pets, if you've got one, don't let that keep you from thinking about deeper truths, about things related to peace, things related to poverty, to privilege, to power, and to the planet. As God is at work in our lives and seeking to transform, heal, bless, and sustain us, how is God using you this day? As we move forward toward this first of our feast days of St. Francis of Assisi as St. Francis Episcopal Parish, I am so glad to be on this walk with you. May Christ's peace be with you, and I look forward to being with you soon.